Alrighty, since I have finished a couple of projects, even though I still have some going, I figured I'd do a quick little garden tour. So, all where these tarps are, and a bit of cardboard at the end, we're going to plant some pollinator mix seeds this year and hopefully get tons of coneflowers and milkweed and things like that coming up. Gonna extend this whole bed out, coming out here and then down up to this post. But at least for now, we've got a few things finally in here. Some yarrow, some allium, some catmint, this poppy that just doesn't want to stand upright because it keeps getting hit by rain coming down off the house. We recently got this hibiscus, which isn't in the ground yet, but we think it'll go somewhere over here. I'm going to put some sort of shrub here. We moved the hosta that was in there. Oh, lots of little mouse ear hosta, some ferns, and then full-size hosta over here. I have finally made some progress digging in the stones here. You can't really see them because of the lighting, I think, but there's some coral bells growing there. Our creeping Charlie is somewhat under control. The dog is growing nicely. This horrendous looking thing is supposed to all be Indian grass, but again, the rain's really given it a hard go of things, so it just looks terrible. And speaking of looking terrible, I spent today finishing the stain on the deck and exhuming all of the pavers that used to be the patio behind the house. And that was a fair bit of sweat. Everything where there's the piled up grass, somebody already took the stones, so what's left is what you see. Hopefully I don't find any more. So I can cart over some soil, get this all leveled out, and have a place for all my vegetables. Speaking of which, my tomatoes are coming in nicely. I don't know if I can get this. Oh, I don't know if that focused, but I've got tomatoes. I have a big loofah. You can see her right there, and then some smaller ones as well. These flowers, when they're not closed up, are nice, rich purple, trumpety things. Clematis? Hibiscus? Or not hibiscus. Honeysuckle? I'm not sure which. We didn't plant them, it just kind of appeared. Our one of our first garden beds from last year, it doesn't look great. It's kind of been neglected in favor of getting the new garden beds in. Speaking of new things, you've got a staghorn sumac here, which should go pretty immense, and I'll probably regret planting it that close to the fence, but deal with that when I deal with it. I'll just do the quick little walk of the gardens that have gone in this year and let you people go. We have the peonies all looking so sad. Many of the ones that came from Connecticut this year have died down to the ground. I'm hoping they come back next year. And then these two tall ones on either side of the stone are starting to brown. I'm not sure why. The black raspberries have done wonderfully. We didn't get any berries this year, but it was their first year in the ground here. That tall stalk is a red raspberry, and there's another one somewhere over here, so hopefully we get some berries next year. This guy is normally covering, I believe these are going to be some sort of allium. Not sure which of the seeds survived, so we will find out. It's Gaillardia, another sad plant. Got it from my neighbor on a pretty hot day, and it wilted pretty quickly, but that flower's new, so I have hope that it's going to keep coming in next year. Coneflowers on their way out. Our sedum here is doing well. The little piece of phlox. This rose is doing nice enough. I took a cutting and it's in that bag under there. Seems to be doing okay. Siberian iris went from rotting away to getting nice and tall, so I'm pretty happy. The tree peony, that also came from Connecticut this year, finally showing some good stable growth. Leonarda, Spirea. This is my Frau Dagmar Harkop rose, which you can see has tons, if it will focus for me, tons of blooms getting ready to come in. Quite happy with that. The phlox is doing well. Our Cardinal Richelieu roses are both doing well, even though the one that is on the left of this, on the left side there, tried to die the first few months it was in the ground. I forget what that is. It is new, just went in the other day. Our Liatris. My Burgundian rose is filling in nicely. Can't wait to see it bloom next year. This little clump is another type of Gaillardia, much shorter. Let's see. And then we have my iris bed, which is looking rather crazy at the moment, but is still at least making progress. Planted a number of different types of sedum in, mostly taking cuttings of the ones that were in the bed over there, and tons of different iris. So I'm hoping once spring hits, we'll have a nice variety of colors up against the fence that we can finally see from the house. I believe this is a red twig dogwood. Some wild ginger. Oh, and there's a coral bell of some kind that went in earlier this year. We have a high bush cranberry, which should fill in this big gap left by trimming back the lilacs. We have lady's mantle, which seems to finally be recovering from its transplant. And then our hostas, which are at the end of their season, if I understand correctly. We have a few different kinds. A Joe Pye weed that also got moved at a bad time, but is no longer fully wilted. It seems to be enjoying this slightly shadier spot better. It was in some pretty direct sunlight. Hosta, there's an, I believe it's an anise hyssop, but some sort of hyssop back there that we just planted the other day. My wonderfully overgrown rhubarb, which will come out of this bed at some point this year, maybe next spring. But they are doing nicely. They are delicious raw. A blue geranium that I just put in. And then we have my hugely overgrown radish that I am hoping I can dry these seed pods from and get some seeds, which I will probably plant next year. And then you can see the fence is all stained and finally done. So we are making progress. I hope you are all well and safe and wearing your masks and all that fun stuff that's not really enjoyable at all. But yeah, we'll see how things go. Bye.